You know, patriarchy, what a sad state of society. You've heard it said, me say it before, I'm going to keep saying it until someone, somewhere, especially the women, catch on. The patriarchal systems of the world for over 6,000 years have not graduated from the cave. America is too disparate. It's too regionalized. And it will fall apart. Because the American people have never fought for their liberty except once and haven't fought since. They don't deserve it. And that's why they don't have it. So let's talk about some good news. Matriarchy, that's good news. Where all sexes celebrate their differences. Wow, what a concept. Love your mama. How simple. Extend that to Mother Earth. Love your mama. Get in rhythm.
This is a video response to Killikami. I totally agree with you. America has become a bunch of spineless, cowardly little sissies. Sorry if that offends you, but it's true.
Hi guys, Sarah here. So I want to ask the question, and I would love to hear your comments and response on this one. I want to ask the question, are we in the last days, or is this just different days, same bullshit? Sometimes I look around the world and all the people in it, and I think, yeah, we're definitely in the last days.
Let's delve into how do we discuss these weighty issues with our children. You know how in movies, little ones, you know how in movies that there are good guys to come and save us? There probably won't be any good guys. We have to be the good guys. You and me, mommy and daddy, we have to be the good guys. And in order to be the good guys, we have to be brave. Mommy and daddy are preparing. We're getting ready. We're storing food. We're storing weapons that can help defend us from the bad guys. We are doing everything that we can in order to keep our family safe, and we're going to stay together regardless of this.
God bless America, the home of the free and the brave. But boy, it doesn't feel very free or very brave lately, does it? It seems like we've been bought out by our government, tripped by the bankers, sabotaged our lands by corporations that used up our resources for money for themselves. Not here, but all over the world. And there are many that think that the spirit of America is dead, that we've become fat and lazy and asleep. And we did. We got lulled to sleep thinking everything was okay. That America had become so wonderful that we didn't have to watch it anymore. We didn't have to take care of it anymore. And now we've awoke and we found that our country is a mess. And it's headed in the wrong direction. And so now I say, my friends, it's up to us. To all of you that feel hopeless, that feel sad, that feel like we can't make it, rejoice. We are America rising. These are the times the history books will look back at and say, they heard, they saw, they acted, and they made a difference. That's our generation, the generation of action. We are America rising. Do not think that we are down for the count. We are the land of the free, the land of the brave, and the land of the heart. Now stand up, people, and act like the Americans you are. We are America rising.
There is going to be a lot of civil unrest. There are a lot of rumors, such as, you know, a civil war forming in the United States. I don't know. Some people might say, well, why don't they just print more money? Well, I'll tell you why they can't just print more money. Well, they can, but if they do, this will cause mass hyperinflation of epic proportion.
You got to put all these things together. First of all, Obama's not going to be any different than Bush, and if you don't know that right now, then you might as well turn this video off, okay? look at the big picture, the economy, the censorship, the don't say anything against Obama. It's only going to get worse. If you disagree, you will be dealt with. And that's the fear that they want to put into everybody. And you know what? It's not going to work with me.
Find a way to express myself with clarity and a grounding in this moment as breath, as self-expression. To be seeing how I can speak into this camera and I'm connecting with the world, and how just the amazing support system that is out there.
Alright. See, look at me. Okay.
I'm gonna attach it to the side of my mouth. Like that. And kind of hold it for a few seconds and make sure your mouth is open as much as possible. Why did I do that?
Hi, I'm just going to make a quick chicken stock, and I thought I might as well record it and let you see what I'm doing. Basically, chicken stock is easy to make, and you can make this without chicken. You can just do it with vegetables.
This video is to the people of the United States and the world. It is my sincerest hope that within our lifetime, no man or woman feels the need to drive a plane into a building. I hope that we see peace on our planet.
The end of days comes through. The weapons of mass destruction that are created to alter weather patterns and Earth cataclysms. Those are joined together with higher forces to cause massive destruction for many and a great deal of reasons. The men who are in charge of these machines will never give up this technology. They will not allow themselves to die or crumble, as they should, because those men are demon-possessed. But this fight will take place below the ionosphere, and I will tell you that every day it takes place in my mind, and I have been commissioned to be one of the people who helps to defeat this.
Okay, so I'm here, and I just went, look what I got at the store, because I couldn't find my clippers at the storage unit. I looked everywhere. It's on. I don't really know if I can just do it without having to cut it first, so I'm going to try it out. Ooh, I'm light.
Okay, seriously, can we just talk here? Now they're introducing pretty much a genetically modified salmon. They're splicing together different things, and they've created the salmon that they're now going to be putting into the supermarkets, and it won't be labeled. And it's Franken salmon. They've created an animal. It grows bigger and faster than a normal salmon, and they haven't done enough research on it. And you know they're not going to stop at the salmon, right? They never do. They never do. We will be the guinea pigs because it won't be labeled, folks.
My dogs are going crazy right now. That you could also write letters that state that he was not trying to incite violence, because they're trying to paint him out to be a domestic terrorist, homegrown terrorism. Look at this girl. Look at how rowdy she is. She's terrible. Look at her. Look at her. She's just going nuts. So if you guys could write letters, you know, send small donations. I know times are tough for everybody right now. People are losing their homes, their jobs, and, you know, I hate to be negative, but it's only going to get worse. Not to change the subject, but how can you have a $3.8 trillion budget, 1.2 trillion of that is just a straight-up deficit, and not have hyperinflation?
We are just really in deep shit. We are really in a hell. If you really look at what's going on, we're really living in a hell of sorts.
Are you ready? Are you ready to begin again, to begin anew? Are you ready to give up your cars and to fly? Are you ready to give up your watch and to live in the eternal now? Are you ready? Are you ready to give up your little house with its little garden and little white fence and to live in the universe? Are you ready? Are you ready to look into the eyes of the person standing next to you and see an angel? Are you ready? Are you ready to know that all is one and that you are but an indivisible part of God? Are you ready?
Keep talking, America. Get on the streets, put banners up, keep talking. Don't ever let them stop you talking. Just keep talking and talking and talking and show them in there that they are idiots, that they can think, they can even shut us up. They cannot shut us up. They will never shut us up. Keep talking, America.
And to a lot of my friends and family that actually voted for Obama, I've been talking to you guys about everything. A lot of you guys are starting to open up, but he's slowly starting to take away our freedom of speech, and this shows it right here. You need to wake up. Get your head out of the freaking sand.
If you kill our free speech, we have nothing left. Nothing. So just keep talking about the subjects you find important, and not what they find important. We don't care what they find important, because they only think about themselves and what they want. What about what we want? We want a free America. Get out of office in there.
Freaking open your minds, man. See what's going on.
You had enough. When have you had enough? You want to be silenced? I don't. I speak my mind at all times.
Because your perfect little life isn't going to last. Trust me.
Does everybody compute out there? This is serious. Keep talking. Keep talking loud. Keep talking on the streets. Don't ever let them silence you. Ever. Keep talking. And nothing else. Just keep talking. Whatever subject you want to talk about. And if it's conspiracy, this is a conspiracy. They cannot silence us. And we will prove them to them. Get on the streets, America. Start talking. Show them. We are boss, not them. Ever.
When you allow your mind to continuously be bombarded and manipulated by outside forces, people, you become vulnerable to their message. The only one you can truly count on is yourself. Is there anything wrong with having food stored? Is there anything wrong with having extra funds in case of an emergency? Is there something wrong with knowing how to keep yourself warm when there's no gas and no power? You don't have to be a crazy conspiracy theorist. You don't have to be a tinfoil hat. You need to be a responsible adult. And if you have children, you've made a decision to be responsible for even more people. That's what being an adult is. Some people need to realize that their bass on their stereo is way too loud.
It's not about alcohol. It's about myself. It's about me understanding that the way that I live selfishly is destroying me and everybody else. See, in our minds, when we feel like something is wrong and we have to do something about something, then we're not in a state of peace of mind. We're not in a calm state. And that's our ego and our identity that believes that we're separate, that feels like something needs to be done about something. What is it that you think that you can control? What effect do you think what effect do you think you can have on the them that you perceive as your enemy?
A little disclaimer here before we get started. This is not in any way meant to be a substitute for proper medical care. If you have any question whatsoever about the health status of your infant, go to the ER quickly. Don't screw around with it. Babies can go south really quick on you. So this is not meant to take the place of proper health care. I just wanted to put that out there. Now, you may be wondering, why are you talking about survival infant care? I thought you were into survival medicine. And infant care doesn't really seem to be on the same level as thoracentesis or gunshot wound care. And I want you all to think about this, especially you guys out there. What is going to hit you harder in the grand scheme of things? The death of a comrade in the field or the death of your child? Think about that.
You know what? I don't even know if I'm going to post this, but
Hi guys, this is Sarah. I finally got my bug out rig all together, so I'm going to do the layout for you so you can see everything that I've got. I've got my knife. It's the MTech. It's just a little cheapo from Walmart. Nice thing about it is the blade goes all the way through the handle, so you don't have to worry about handle coming loose and all that jazz. And there's the surface. It's sharp surface. Next, I've got my first aid kit. And in this, if I can open it, we've got some gauze and tape and tubes, some more tape. We got some alcohol swabs and some bandages. You can never have too many. Some compressed gauze, some IV needles. I'll end up putting more in, but that's good just in case I have to get some fluids into somebody. And syringes and clamps and scissors. Next we have my actual bug out bag. In this first pocket, I've got some water purification tablets. I've got an extra belt, a lighter, another lighter, a compass, a foil blanket, for signaling or keeping you warm or all that jazz. I've got my backup poncho, and then I've got tinfoil. I believe I've got about 5 feet of tinfoil. That's my son. He's getting tired of looking at me. Okay, this is my flashlight also. I keep it up here on the top part because in that way I can shine it into this pocket and the big one. And then also when I have it all zipped up, I can reach these two pretty good. So it comes in very handy and it makes it more versatile. I've also got my camo pack on the back, and then that way I can fill this with water and have water with me, not necessarily at all times, but that is that. And that is my bug out bag and my bug out vest. And next I will be doing my gun. This is our new AR-15. I like it a whole lot better because I used to have to carry the high point. Not so much fun. And then it also does not kick nearly as bad as my husband's AK. It's got the flip down grip on it, and then it's got the backlight, and then the thing for it is right here on the handle, which is nice. It's also got the red dot scope and the flip up back sight, and I just like it. Overall, it's nice. That's all I got.
It's only by talking about the difficult things. It's only by embracing our fears. It's only by walking to the darkness with nothing but our courage and faith by our side that makes it worth living. And we've been called into special times, whether we knew it or not. They are here. America's losing its edge, but I don't believe that we really are. I believe that we've got structures in our way. You know, we are the land of the free, and so I say, you know, one thing that we can do as a free people is scrap ideas that aren't working, and isn't the very basis of capitalism, that when it's failing, we let it fail, and then we find something that's working. And America's failing.
Covering my dishes in the sink. And I'll just fill up the water until most of it is covered up. So just fill it up with water. As much as you want.
Hey America, how are you liking the change that we can all believe in? This administration is stifling capitalism. It wants government to run everything. Do you know the stimulus bill was written by left-wing radical idiots?
They're just a fucking bunch of thugs, of gang members, of just disgusting, filthy gang members. And they have their graffiti all over this country, this world. Their logos and their signatures even stretch across third world countries. It's just everywhere, and it's so scary to think that the minute you walk out of your door, you are walking into Satan's world. It is Satan's world that we are living in.
Okay, so now I've got both of the side prosthetics attached and they will continue to dry. Your skin underneath is going to feel a little bit itchy. And then I'm going to attach the bullet hole in much the same way as I did the other prosthetics, using the same spirit gum.
Certainty is dangerous. I've read that, and I believe that's true now. Because I think if we think we understand, we think we know that someone, you know, we think we've got it under control. We think we understand that they're the enemy. The longer I'm sober again, the more I realize that I'm really not as smart as I always thought I was. And that, like I said before, I don't think I have any business trying to run anything or telling anybody else how to live. Deciding who should live and who should die.
And then I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? You know, like, I'm like making these videos and bullshitting myself and too afraid to stand, too afraid to really fully and completely stand. Just putting my toe into the water, too afraid to jump in and lose my grounding. And realizing that I'm totally alone. Getting rid of all my possessions, getting rid of all my friends, getting rid of all my family, getting rid of everything. I'm still not facing myself. I'm doing these outward things that it's the same polarity. My brain's just like, but you gotta figure something out. You gotta figure out what's going on in the world. You gotta figure out how to stop this and stop that. And no, just stop yourself.
It's the holiday season, and this Christmas is much different for me than any other Christmas that I've had before. It's the first Christmas that I'm aware in a week of what's going on, and my husband and I both own our own businesses. He owns his, I have mine, and we have 5 children, so we're very busy in our lives, and since we have this new direction in our life, we're even more focused on what we need to do to prepare.
Throughout history, people survived by growing their own food. Now we've evolved, supposedly, into this country of greatness, a world of greatness and bounty, even though so many people are starving. But right here in America, what's going on? We're dealing with big agricorp. They own all the food, okay? This bill, literally, under the ironic guise of the Food Regulatory and Safety Bill, takes away your right as a human being to grow your own food. That's right. It makes it illegal. Does it sound like the devil came up with this bill?
Obviously, we know that we are losing our country right before our very eyes. Every time I open my emails, more and more bad news. We have to do our own homework, guys, and we have to figure out who the true patriots are, and those are the people we need to get behind. And if you guys can't do this right now, I'm sorry, but no one's going to make it through a revolution.
Look out, here I come!
I'm a white woman, yet an American citizen, born in the United States of a mother. And so I'm getting ready to say that I, as a white woman meeting those conditions, understands when and where I was made a slave. And to whom. Just accept that as a part of your American heritage, and you can accept it today because it's true of you too. Like, it's a completely commoditized, capitalized, monetized, corporatized system.
Right now, if you evaluate our current climate in the United States and really in the Western world, but definitely in the United States, we're already in a societal collapse right now. If it goes deep, you are going to see waves, plural, of death. And the reason for this is because here in America, we and the Western world, we really have got it in our heads somehow that we, being fantastic and divine, have over the past 50 to 100 years eradicated 15,000 years, conservatively, of human existence, of survival. Who survives? Survival of the fittest. The first wave of death will probably eliminate anywhere between 10 and 20% of our population within a month. That's scary, and it's real. I didn't just invent this, folks. Think about how many people you see when you go into Walmart and you see at these other places, people you know couldn't hike 3 hours. People who 100 years ago would have been dead already. How about lack of appropriate vitamin intake and subsequent risk for infection because you didn't get enough vitamins in your food because you didn't have anything but beans and rice? The system will be overwhelmed. The morgues will be overwhelmed. These people will not get buried quickly.
You know, a lot of us are really prepared with our food and our whatever, our food, our ammunition, our medical supply. Millions of people out there are not prepared and they are not stocked up with food. There would be utter chaos right across the board, utter chaos. I mean, killing, raping, pillaging, it would be out of control. They will decide to start throwing mop-pods at people's homes and just burning them out and burning everything. This is another real scenario and a scary one, because how are you going to fight that? I mean, what is the recourse for that?
In case you haven't heard, the forming dictatorship now wants to censor the internet. So we've got Senate Bill 3804, which is in the Senate Judiciary Committee. This week, it's called the Combating Online Infringement and Counterfeits Act. Doesn't that sound like they're just looking out for our safety? So anyway, they are going to try to censor the internet, which would create a blacklist for certain domains. So people could not visit alternative news media sites and learn the truth, because obviously the mainstream media freaking lies about everything, such as the recession is over.
Okay, good morning. Can't really see me because it's morning, and I haven't been around a lot because I've been working on a little project. This is what I've been working on. Okay, now we can't really see this, but this is, well, I'm going to take you inside, show you what's going on. Okay, here we go. Because I live in the city and do not have a backyard, have created myself an indoor garden. And then over here I've got microgreens and spinach and lettuce. Okay, so let me show you around. This is an indoor mylar tent, so this completely shuts up and is blackout. So this is my first attempt to grow a garden indoors. We keep talking about being self-sufficient. I had to get creative here. So I'm going to take you through my little journey of off-the-grid growing here, and let's see how we do. I am using low CFL lights, 26 watts.
So I wanted to address the point of the false perception that people have of being able to live off the grid, which is just another form of separation. And it's not actually taking on the entire system as a whole, but creating a separate experience. All of these ideas that people have around the green movement and around closing themselves off by just dropping out and going off the grid is just another separation tactic to not have to deal with the real issues.
know that they say that if you drink alone, you could be an alcoholic. So, I'm not drinking alone. I hope that was a good take, because that was like my 10th.
I want you guys to take care of yourselves so that you can endure what's to come. They're wanting to put birth control in the water. And I mean, why not? They put fluoride in the water. Might as well put some birth control in there too. I think everybody probably knows that organic food is better for you than genetically modified garbage. So I want to tell you of this product. I use it every day. I'm not pitching it. I don't get any money for doing it. I'm just trying to help you guys out. This stuff is called Green Vibrance. It's a powder. It's a green food. It contains probiotics, and it's like getting all your vegetables, all your daily intake of vegetables in one day. Not only are they going to try to take away all food that has any nutritional value, but then this fall they're going to try to force us to take swine flu shots, which is going to create a pandemic. This is a... Oh, sorry, that's my phone. Is that a funny phone ringtone? I'll put it on silent.
Okay, I'm in my garden, and I just want to ask anybody, they happen to know, I think I might be getting powdery mildew. I don't know enough, like, about the plants. Like, I got a little burn thing. I hope this goes away. Can you guys see that? I think it's because I got the lights too close. I don't know. If any gardeners know, please tell me.
They are shooting us from every angle. Dominate the minds of one by one is much easier to enslave rather than to institute a world domination overnight. They so desperately needed broken homes and broken minds coupled with spiritually hungry and starving individuals, free from family ties and supports. People used to have in their immediate family at least 5 to 10 people. Now I'm seeing families of 2 all over this country, and it's just not working out, and they have been doing this for years.
So conspiracy theories as being another form of entertainment to divert one from actually facing themselves with self-honesty and taking responsibility for being here in this world as a participant. So the only reason that secret societies exist are because of the secret mind, because of what we hide behind within ourselves that we aren't willing to look at, and so we project blame out into the world and say that it's something larger than us, something that we don't have control over. It's so powerful that we cower to it and cause a justification to not stand. One can take a proper look at the institutions of this world and look at it in practical common sense and see that obviously they're not functioning. It doesn't take knowing conspiracy theories to look outside your door and see that this world is fucked.
In this segment, I want to talk about who's going to die first when the poop hits the fan. The reason I'm telling you this is, number one, so that you can assess and see if you fall into these categories. And then number two, so that you will have a temporal marker to gauge these things, and also so that you will know who to watch out for. I got news for you folks. If you don't have your mobility and you don't have your respiratory functioning, you're not going to make it. You need to be able to do more than just sit in a power chair and pudge yourself along outside the Walmart door when there are shots being fired over your head. And also within the mix are people with respiratory issues, people who are dependent upon oxygen, people who are dependent upon CPAP machines and positive pressure ventilation. They're going to die. They're going to die.
You guys are not going to believe what toxic little bombs these things are, and we really need to spread the news and let other people know, because I didn't know this either. Let me see if I can get the garden in the back of me so it's nicer. It's a nicer view. Well, I guess it's not going to work. Sorry, guys. Trying. Strawberries are looking good, though. Okay, basically what's going on with these CFLs, and I'll give you a little garden view why it's going on, is that the CFLs have mercury in them, right? So if they're broken, first of all, the recycling is just hell. That you have to take them to a special place, which, come on, how many people do? And what they recommend, if you're going to get rid of them yourself, is to put them in a bottle and seal it, okay? But if the CFLs actually get broken, okay, and the mercury comes out, one of you said, oh, you're going to need a hazmat. Guess what? This person was absolutely right. They totally find if one breaks, that the mercury gets, literally, they tell you not to vacuum it up because you'll spread it all over your house. Mercury, toxic levels of mercury, okay? I had no idea. I'm going to switch these out. I'm going to let them go for a while before I recycle them because that's the most, I guess, environmental thing to do at this point before I switch over lights. Like, if you don't recycle, it's just horrible. It ends up in landfills. Mercury, tons of mercury.
White men and women really need to grow a spine and stop feeling guilty for being white, and they need to stop feeling like they need to apologize for the color of their skin, because that's the way God made you.
Get your ears. Make sure you get your ears. Down on the neck. This is just giving us a blank canvas to work with, so we can put in new skin, zombie skin.
The second group of people, subset in this category, will turn into aggressors. These are the people who will go and loot, and they will get shot, and rightfully so, I might add. I have no sympathy for people who go and loot and get shot. That's just my thing. You can call me hard-hearted if you want to. But these people will also, note here, they will take advantage of the people in group 1. They will take advantage of the physically disabled. They will take advantage of them for a myriad of reasons. But within this subset is another subset that you need to watch out for, and that is the druggie. Because I got news for you. I did alcohol drug detox within a psych setting for 2 years. When these people don't have their drugs, if they're addicted to alcohol, they're going to have seizures and die. Their blood pressure will shoot up and they'll have various issues, but they're going to die. If they are addicted to alcohol, or excuse me, if they're addicted to benzos or opiates, they're going to come for you. And you better be prepared to defend yourself from them. This is going to be one of the most dangerous groups of people out there, is the druggie, and you need to prepare for that. And I got news for you as well. If somebody's strung out on drugs and they're coming for you, it's 1 round of 9mm isn't going to touch it. 2 rounds is going to touch it, okay?
I'm in a brainwashing cult yet again. It's pushing me to really stand up. And there's nothing to come in between that. Because if anything does, then I'm fucked. It's pretty point blank.
If somebody calls you a racist, it's just a word. And you know what, you guys? You thought that electing a black president was going to bring the racists together where we could all sing Kumbaya around the campfire together. Well, I guess you're starting to see now that that's not the case. So, guess what's happening to race relations in this country now under the Obama administration? They're going bye-bye.
Hey guys, this is our training scenario, okay? 3 nuclear suitcase bombs have just been detonated simultaneously in Washington, D.C., San Antonio, and San Diego Bay. A computer virus has brought down our defense satellites, and Al-Qaeda teamed up with Mexican drug cartels are coming across the Texas border. And the city of Houston is under siege, so we're going to make a maneuver and cut south behind the enemy lines to cut off their supplies and reinforcements. Our attack today is only a small effort in a larger scheme of maneuver. There are other teams spread out across the Texas border, and we're all going to simultaneously make this big sweep to the south so we can cut off the forces that are sieging Houston. You guys ready to kick some ass? Yeah, here, switch positions. Coming up to you! Alright, we've got to reconsolidate. A lot of shooting. If they had any buddies way off, they probably heard it. So we got to get back together and get ready for another attack. We don't know. When you shooting starts, people hear it. They want to come see what's going on. That could be good, that could be bad. Son of a bitch!
All of what's happening is because we have given up our responsibilities. If you change the right to keep and bear arms to the responsibility to keep and bear arms, and why this right or responsibility was given to you, and realize that it was a responsibility and not something that somebody higher than you gave you, maybe people would understand it better. Maybe it would be more applicable and make a hell of a lot more sense.
The third group of people I have classified in 2 ways. It's the yuppies and the neo-hippies. And the neo-hippies and the yuppies, they have complementary but equally deficient skill sets. The neo-hippies, let's talk about them for a second. These are your, I love my chacos, not knocking chacos, I'm sure they're great, I can never wear them, but these are your chaco wearing, barefooted, I love urban gardening, live in the city, lower your carbon footprint. These people are going to die. And here's why. Even though they have good skill sets, such as agriculture and manual things like sewing and weaving, what are they deficient in? Firearms. These people typically do not like weapons, and because of that, they are a perfect target. And then there's the yuppies. And the yuppies, it's a very wide swath of people. But the main thing with the yuppies is that they have incurred so much debt that they have been unable to prepare. If they don't have food, they're too busy paying their mortgage and their 2 car payments and their gym membership and their tanning membership. Okay? These people are deficient in supplies, mainly, but these people will react when it's too late, because these particular folks are so caught up in the Republican-Democrat cheer for your team game that by the time the stuff goes down, they will not have come to the place in their mind where they realize and can come to grips with and can accept that they were wrong.
Now, I'll explain to you what my universal purpose here is. I'm here to tell people who are sitting at the top of the game of this grid complex, matrix nature, money shifting, grubbing world that you have no choice but to take us into universal abundance. There are some of us who realize that we know what this planet is to be turned into, and it's a long war against you. But we are spiritually armed, and you don't get to do that to us, which means that the only way out for you, and believe me, you are the heads that are being hunted every day and night. You have no choice but to lead us into universal abundance.
It's just out of control. It's out of control. They're liars. They're depopulationists. They're sadistic. They're treasonous on almost every level. They all have a dictatorship mindset. They're a waste of human skin as far as I'm concerned. You know, they're breathing air that good, decent folk could be breathing. They're just taking up space as far as I'm concerned. This is really how I feel. I feel so disgusted at this political system that we're living in right now. And our country is now, I mean, it has every single implication of any dictatorship out there. I mean, look at the way that we've been moving into this fascist regime and this dictatorship over the last several years. If people don't wake up and revolt and kick these bastards out of their chairs, their lazy, glued asses out of these chairs, we are just going to continue to suffer and suffer and suffer. And I mean, taxing our cigarettes and our alcohol, they've done that. They want to do it again. And sodas, they want to tax sodas.
What a twisted system. This control, this manipulation, it's like a disease. It's like a vampire sucking energy.
Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little bit of temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Actually, single mothers are on the rise, and 70% of all inmates belong to single mother families, okay? This has become a very bad epidemic all the way around. We need the men to take control again and take authority again and do something about the problems that we are now facing, because this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning.
If you have any young boys at home, any young sons, especially infants, make sure you're not feeding them any kind of soy products, because soy will raise estrogen levels, and it's especially dangerous in boys. In a time where we need men to be men and women to be women, we've got a nation of sissies, apathetic sissies, and that's the reason we're in the mess we're in. If you want to raise your testosterone levels without taking steroids, you need to be eating a lot of foods that are rich in whey. And what I recommend for that is cottage cheese and good organic yogurt.
This is called an Anaheim pepper, and it's supposed to be really, really hot. It's actually supposed to be hotter than the Santa Fe, and it is hot, but it's not as hot as this one. This is the Santa Fe pepper, and these are wonderful. Wonderful. I just love these. Thank you so much, Sparta Cat. I believe these are jalapenos. These, I think, are jalapenos. And the coolest one of all, and I don't know what the name of it is, if anybody would tell me, I will be so happy. But this is pepper plant, okay? And these suckers turn orange and then they turn red. And when they're red, they're mighty, mighty, mighty hot. I have not had the nerve to try one when it's red yet.
I'm here without this burden of weight. This like dead body I'm dragging around with me. Of like who I think I am and how I think I'm doing. The point that brought me out of it was the point of death as an equalizer. Die and rebirth myself in every moment fresh. That way I cannot be controlled.
Everything you see on the TV is violence or sex or, things that will cause men to lust. And, men aren't faithful to their wives. Wives aren't faithful to their husbands. There's divisions in households. And there's no loyalty anymore. There's no loyalty. And, kids come from broken homes because Satan is after our kids, you guys. That's the plan of Satan. Attack the family unit, get the kids.
Let's talk about immediate first aid. And before I jump into this, little disclaimer, I am not responsible for your inactions or actions. Use your own discretion. Everything I tell you is for research purposes only. So, there we go. So, this is kind of more advanced sort of stuff, I guess you would say. But all of it is attainable through online sources. Where I got this was Shop MedVet International. So you can go to shopmedvet.com. Pain is such a psychological thing that if you can go ahead and get ahead of it, if you can get ahead of the pain and decrease that initial whoa factor of the pain, it'll help you long term. Because a lot of healing, folks, a lot of healing is body-mind. It's psychological.
It's supposed to be the most devastating, upsetting, tumultuous times of crisis that the earth is going to be seeing. They talk about a third world war starting and America being involved in it. And America being so stretched out thin, military-wise, all over the globe, that we implode. So basically, our empire is toppled. We can take back our power now and begin to create the movement that will cause the global non-compliance, that will topple the false empire and make all the peoples of all the world free. Free from the tyranny of being forced into wars that don't suit us or help us. There's 40 million Americans that are armed. I think he said like 1 in every 8 American is armed to the hilt. There's no way they could defeat America because so many Americans are armed.
That is deception. Here is reality. And that's why the world has become fucked. It's not something that we can deny. It's not based on feelings and fuzzy experiences. If I continue to go that way, I will destroy myself.
So we're going to focus on 2 locations today, the gluteus, the butt, the hip, if you will, and also the leg, the front leg, the quadrant. Administer the medication in a swift stroke. I've seen videos of these people who are just kind of eat the syringe, the needle in, and it just looks horribly painful. So save the person a little bit of trauma and just do it in one swift stroke, right like that. Now once you have hit the needle through the skin, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to pull back on the plunger here. And what you're looking for is blood return in the syringe. I do not do that in standard nursing practice, but if you are in an emergency and you are in a survival situation, that may be what you end up having to do.
I wonder if you'll bite me. Will you bite me? Come on. Don't bite me. Ooh, you're trying to bite me. Look at you. Are you gonna bite me? Are you gonna bite me with that thing? Just come on, I'm gonna take you out of here. You wanna live? If you'll come on, I'll let you live, nigga. Come on. Just get on the leaf, man. Come on, get on the leaf. Don't bite me. Don't bite me. Don't look at me like that, man. There you go. Let go of that. Let go. Come on. Man, I'm going through some changes to save your ass, man. Let go. Okay, wait. Alright, here we go. We're going across the street. Going across the street. That's it. Come on.
For me, for the last couple of years, I've played small, and I think I no longer want to do that, and I think that I'm not going to put forward in business anything that I don't want to be anymore. Set my prices where I know that they are supposed to be, because it's been divinely given to me, and to pursue that and to package myself just as who I know that I'm supposed to be.
They are very good at manipulating everything, from our monies to our jobs to our incomes to our taxes to our laws to our everything. They just have their hands in everything.
You want to go inside the bullet hole and slightly extend the black out and down. First do the drip from the forehead. And I dripped it across my eyeball. And down here, dripped it this way. So like it's oozing out of the wound.
With the chest wound here, I'm just going to say this is sort of like a rifle round here. You have an entry on the chest wound, and you may or may not have, turn around, engineer please, you may or may not have an exit wound. So let's talk about the exit wound here first. Something that I always carry around, sorry here for you guys who are a little bit squeamish, is maxi pads. Because maxi pads are probably the cheapest way to control bleeding. The one thing that I would add, returning back to the abdominal wound, is that frequently, especially with high velocity wounds, you are probably going to have evisceration of organs. I mean, they're coming out, you might have intestines coming out, liver. Do not put them back in the abdominal cavity proper. Just put them up on the chest and cover them with a moist cloth and just try to keep the area clean.
I don't know about you, but in my circle of people, I've noticed that a lot of people are having a difficult time. And more than ever, people have been calling me up and suicidal, depressed, having nightmares. And a good friend of mine, was even a mover, was moving out, this young couple out of this huge mansion, and they were downgrading, moving into a smaller place. And after they moved out the whole upstairs, they went to go to the master bedroom, and they heard a shot. And the young woman had blown her head off with a shotgun. And so, my friend was so shaken up, literally came home with bits of brain still on his shirt. People, we're in dire circumstances.
Okay, now you want to get really gross, really gross, like this whole thing is gross, and get into your teeth with some black paint. It's not going to hurt you. If you have tooth color, even better.
We all know that the legislation for mandatory volunteerism has already passed, which is very similar to, the Hitler's Youth. Call me paranoid or whatever, but these brown shirts ended up turning in their family members and their neighbors, okay?
Demon, vile, Hitler, 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 666, devil, shampoo, skinhead, crucifix, Ku Klux Klan, Lucifer, Hitler, Jewish, concentration camp, slaughter, warning, die, 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 fear, terror, psychopath, bald, machine, Santa Claus, Christianity, 666, kill, 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 demon, Satan, demon, Satan, demon, Auschwitz, Hitler, control.
No human being can determine what sanity is for another person. You feel like you're losing your mind, and realize it's not all over. It's all going to be put back together in due time. It's sometimes the way you become conscious in a crazy world. You're not here to save everybody. You're not here to create a great and fantastic life for everybody. It's not a possibility.
Hello? Hi, who am I speaking with, please?
Yes, ma'am. This is David Vick. I'm a supervisory motor patrol agent here in Human Sector. Public Affairs Office.
Okay, so...
Before we continue, can you please give me your name?
I'm a concerned citizen. That's as far as I'm going to give you right now, okay? You've got all the information. You can track me down if you like. Look, we know, I know and you know, you have every way of taping this phone call. I am actually recording this phone call, and you are on speakerphone, and I know you have every technique over there at your station to trace and track this phone call if you like to, okay? Thank you and good day. So, they all know about it, but they're not talking.
I know that we humans are waking up. More and more of us are joining together in the same feeling that we want a healthy and free planet. And this mass awakening in our ability to communicate with one another through the internet is going to just escalate this. So even though it feels like we're in the minority, you got to remember it's like a snowball rolling downhill. Because when you reach a certain critical mass of the same species doing a higher evolved thing, it just shifts. Then it like evolution changes, and then everybody else gets caught up in it, even if they didn't even know what was going on. Because why? The whole species evolves.
This is freaking creepy. You have to make that noise, I guess, when you have your mouth slit open.
Yeah, so the moral to this whole story is not to believe every little thing that you see or every little thing that people send you via email, because everybody is in a state of panic right now, and so a lot of people will put a spin on things.
It's called psychological warfare. If you have everybody afraid of what they don't understand, people can't go check all this stuff. If the government can put fear in your mind, and this is a governmental tool of warfare, it's called psychological warfare.
I'm a fighter. I've been through a lot in my life. If you want to troll me, go for it. It has no effect on me. I just delete your comments. If you want to make excuses, go for it. It has no effect on my life. But if you're in the fight, if you're really in the fight, I'm with you. And if you're not paying attention, if you're not listening, if you think that this is a joke or some kind of entertainment instead of the television, you're going to be a victim. A part of that fight is understanding why I'm full of rage at statements like, I will be a servant to the President of the United States. My pledge, I pledge to teach everyone who has an ear, to tell everyone who has an ear, that the government is a servant to the people. I will not serve a politician.
Oh, you're crazy. You're crazy. You're a fucking loon. Something like that. And I know what that means. That means you're one sandwich short of a full picnic, little girl.